Howdy folks, for my demonstrative speech I will be showing you how I make a bologna sandwich. Before you begin, wash your hands. I've already done this, so let's go over what items you'll need. You'll need a spatula, knife, plate, a skillet, and a stove to cook on. Condiment of your choice. I prefer mustard. You can use ketchup, mayonnaise. Doesn't really matter as long as you like it. Bread of your choice as well. White bread, wheat bread. I prefer honey wheat because I think it tastes the best. Chips to go along with your sandwich. And most importantly, the bologna itself. I prefer Oscar Mayer because my preference is it tastes the best. Now, before you begin, take it out. Now, I like my sandwiches a little bit thicker, so I'm going to use 2 pieces of bologna. Now, before you begin cooking, you'll need to take the casings off. It's that red tape right there. Some pieces of bologna and some companies don't have casings, but for Oscar Mayer and this specific brand, they do. And you also need to make a couple small incisions, and that prevents the bologna from sort of flaring up and not cooking properly. Once you've gotten that, turn your stove on, take your bologna pieces, get them ready to cook. If you want, you can use a bit of olive oil. I don't, because it really doesn't make that much of a difference. While those are cooking, let's go over to our bread. As I said, you can use any type of bread you want. It doesn't really matter as long as it tastes good to you. Take this out. Get a couple slices of bread. And you get the bread ready for your condiment. I prefer French's mustard. I think it tastes the best. And if you are using mustard, remember to shake it up well because mustard separates and you don't want it to be a liquidy mess. Put the amount you want on whatever type of condiment you have or kind of bread you have. If you can hear, bologna's cooking well, so I'm going to turn that down. If we go back over here, I'm not sure if it will show or not. Still needs time to cook. Like I said with mustard, you may need to shake it up. It separates quite a bit. Like so. Spread it. Just like that. Simple as that. Go back down to the bologna. You can see it's getting a little brown. Bologna takes really however long you need it to cook. If you turn it on high, it'll cook quicker. If you turn it on low, it'll cook slower. While the bologna is cooking, an interesting fact about bologna is it gets its name from Bologna, which is a town in northern Italy. Alright, once your bologna's cooked quite a bit, flip it over. In my case, it's kind of falling apart, but that's perfectly fine. If you look right here, see it's a bit charred on the edges. That's perfectly fine. That doesn't mean it's burnt or anything. You'll let it do that on both sides for a bit, and then it should be done. I prefer mine a little bit crunchy, so I leave it out to get a little bit more burnt, but like I said, it's perfectly fine. It's not going to ruin your bologna or anything. So, I'll let that cook up real quick, and then I'll bring it back once it's done. Alright, I believe my bologna is done, and it is. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the stove. Left a little piece right there. Get out there, fella. There we go. Fold it like that. There you go. That's how you make a bologna sandwich. Like I said, you choose any chips. I'm choosing Lay's because I believe that goes best with them. Dropped a few. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you make yourself a meal, and this will be my meal for tonight. Thank you for...
Thanks, son.
I'll be making a second bologna sandwich, and that will be my meal for tonight.